My friend who doesn't have kids pointed out something interesting to me. I had my kids when I was 22 and 24, so they are 9 and 12 now. I was also a part of the generation that was given completely unregulated access to the internet. We had internet in the house, honestly, for most of my life, starting from the very most basic of dial-ups. And I had my own computer pretty quickly. The things I did on the internet included AOL chat rooms, RuneScape, Habbo Hotel. Of course, I did like the MySpace, the Canadian Nexopia, all that stuff later, but I'm talking specifically when I was a fairly young child. Me and my friends would go online to an AOL chat room, usually, and we would pretend to be teenagers, usually. We would be like 9, 10 years old, and we would pretend to be teenagers. And we would catfish all of the predators in there, thinking that we were, being so sly, being so funny. We would be like, oh, they would be like, oh, ASL, and we would be like, 16, female, Cali. We always said California, but not California, Cali. And usually once we had fun, pretending to be something that we were not, we would say, oh, you're a PDF, ha ha ha, I'm only 9, ew, you're so gross, ha ha ha, and then we would block them and move on. But it was the games, it was the RuneScape and the Habbo Hotel that were the most dangerous for us. Since we just wanted to play on there, we were just, messing around, doing whatever we did on RuneScape. I don't even remember how to play that. But Habbo Hotel, you could go swimming in the pool, or you could, change into your bathing suit, or you could go to a nightclub, all those things. And that's where the predators were a lot more sophisticated. They were probably a lot younger than the ones in the AOL chat room. They were the ones who befriended us first, who didn't immediately do creepy stuff. And so we would say 16 female Cali after they asked for our ASL, and they would be like, oh cool, I'm 17 male Cali, whatever. And they would befriend us, and they would talk to us, and they would get our MSN Messenger. Once that started, AOL was a thing before that, so I'm sure they got that too, and we spoke to them. I don't specifically remember, but they were the ones who asked us to be their girlfriends. Oh, I want to be your boyfriend, and we can, talk online and all that. And unfortunately, for me at least, my parents were divorced, and my mom was a big internet user. She was online all the time. She would get boyfriends online, and she would talk to them, and she normalized it for me. And so I said, of course I want an internet boyfriend. And so I had them. And so I sent pictures that I never should have sent. I did things I never should have done because I didn't understand the ramifications of it. I did not understand that these things could be saved and used for nefarious purposes. I did not understand that. I genuinely thought that I was talking to another young person, but I can almost guarantee that it was not. And then once I was an older teenager, it was Nexopia. That was the social media that was used, at least in my part of Canada. I think it was more of a Western Canada thing. And there, I got catfished by somebody pretending to be a woman, a girl just slightly older than me. And I had no idea that you could do that kind of thing. She had multiple pictures. Well, she had multiple pictures of herself and talked in what I assumed was a normal, older teen girl way. And looking back on it now and talking to other people who were in these groups that were online on Nexopia, they were like forums, I can almost guarantee that she was not a real person. And again, I did things that I never should have done. I did so many stupid things. I was already doing stupid things like sending nude photos of myself to boys that I liked, boys that I was dating, whatever. I was already doing that stuff. And so I would send these pictures to this girl first and say, hey, what do you think about this picture? Because she said that she was bisexual. And so I would send them to her first to be like, are these any good? She was my friend. I would have considered her one of my best friends. We talked all the time, all the fucking time. And I trusted her. You see the pattern here? And once I became an adult and got married, I got married at 20. So obviously I have been out of the dating game for a very long time. I'm still married. But I realized, oh fuck, what did I do? Why did I do this? So when I had kids, I was very aware of the dangers of being online, of having a chat feature, any of that. And I took one look at Roblox. My older son played Roblox one time with me sitting there next to him, and I saw what it was about, and immediately alarm bells went off for me. It was Habbo Hotel in the year, whatever it was. I can't remember what year it was years ago. He has not ever played it ever again because I immediately saw, this is dangerous. This is not safe for children. I will absolutely not be letting my kids play this. And it turns out that I was right. I was right to be suspicious of this. I was right to be aware of the dangers that these games that are meant for children have, because the people that own them actually have no interest in making it safe for children, because if you make it safe for children, you're not going to have as many people playing it, right? You're not going to have all those predators on your platform paying money, doing, creating things, creating games, doing all those things. You're just going to have a bunch of little kids running around, and that doesn't make money. I don't even know what my point is to this, to be honest. I kind of wish that I had spoken out sooner and told other people, hey, don't let your kids play this. It's not safe. It's really not safe. You cannot trust anybody else to protect your children. You have to be the one to do it. You cannot trust that a company is going to put your child's best interest at the forefront, because they won't. They absolutely will not. And I am living proof of that. And I am so glad that nothing really, really terrible has ever happened to me because of the things that I did online, because of the information that I gave out online. The internet is so fucking dangerous for kids, for anyone really, but for kids especially, because kids are just so innocent and they don't know and they don't ever expect that somebody would want to hurt them, that somebody is actively looking to hurt them. And you cannot trust anybody, and you just need to keep your kids off the internet. Please, please. My kids, my oldest is 12, and he's got Kids Messenger, which I monitor, and I approve every app that he downloads onto his tablet, and I monitor what he uses on his tablet, and I am very aware of everything that he's doing. I check every single app he downloads for a chat feature to see if it's on there, and if it can only just be disabled, like if there is one and it's like, oh, you can disable it, no, because I know that kids will go and enable it, because I would have. I thought, what's the worst that can happen? And now as an adult, I realize that the worst that can happen is really, really terrible. It's worse than death even, although a lot of times that is the ultimate result. It's terrifying. Don't let your kids on the internet. Don't let them do anything online. Don't let them talk to strangers on Xbox Live or whatever. Don't let them do it. Talk to them and tell them about the people who are looking for kids just like them to befriend and gain their trust, and ask them to do one little almost innocent thing. Oh, just, take a picture of your cleavage, for young girls. And then that goes from like cleavage to, oh, just lift up your shirt and show me your bra. And then it goes from there, and then they start to blackmail these children. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid. Thank God it wasn't a thing, because it would have happened to me, because I did it, because I sent the pictures. I did the video chats. I don't even remember what we used at that time for video chats, but I remember doing them. There was like chat roulette. We did chat roulette, and there would be dudes doing nasty stuff over there, every other person. And then we would find a normal person, and then we would think, let's flash them. Don't let your kids on the internet, please. I'm begging you.